All right, everyone. Ready to dive into something pretty interesting.
Hmm.
Looks like a lot of you have been reading about Mukesh Ambani's latest predictions.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they've got us here at the Deep Dive Thinking, too.
Oh, for sure.
He's talking about a future shaped by green energy and AI, with India right at the center of it all.
Right.
We're talking about that article from the Indian Express, January 29th, 2025,
Okay.
the one titled Green Energy, AI to Shape Future of Humanity. Mukesh Ambani.
All right.
I mean, this vision is bold, to say the least.
It is. And what's really striking is that it's coming from Ambani himself,
Right.
the chairman of Reliance Industries, no less.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
isn't just some futurist speculating.
Right.
This is a business leader putting his full weight behind these ideas.
And that makes you pay attention.
For sure.
So let's
Yeah.
break down what he's actually saying here.
Okay.
He's putting forward green energy and AI
Right.
as the two major forces that'll shape, well, the future of humanity.
Mm.
So what do you think? Is this just hype, or is there something more to it?
I think it's definitely more than just hype. I
Right.
mean, these two fields, they're already showing incredible potential.
Yeah.
And what Ambani seems to be suggesting is this sort of
Convergence.
Yeah, think about it.
Oh,
We're facing this urgent need to combat climate change.
obviously.
And AI just might be the key to unlocking truly effective green energy solutions.
So AI as a tool to fight climate change.
That's the idea.
Could you give me an example? How would that even work?
Sure, imagine AI being used to, let's say, design hyper-efficient solar panels,
Oh, wow.
or managing entire power grids in real time, adapting to those fluctuations in demand and supply.
That's pretty cool.
AI could even predict energy consumption patterns, helping us optimize resource allocation.
That's amazing.
These are just a few examples.
Yeah.
But the potential applications are vast.
I see, but he doesn't stop there.
No, he doesn't.
He's quite direct when he says the transition away from fossil fuels needs to be accelerated.
Right.
Do you think that's even realistic, considering the current global landscape?
It's a challenging proposition, there's no doubt about that.
For sure.
There are huge economic and political factors tied to the fossil fuel industry.
Yep.
But what Ambani might be suggesting is that the cost of inaction is just too high. The longer we wait, the more devastating the effects of climate change will be.
Yeah, it's a tough balance to strike.
Absolutely.
He talks about pursuing economic growth without sacrificing ecological responsibility.
Yeah.
How do we even begin to address that? It seems almost paradoxical.
I think we need to rethink our whole approach to growth.
Oh.
Move away from the traditional model
Yeah.
and embrace a more sustainable and holistic framework.
And what would that look like?
One where economic progress isn't just measured by GDP,
Okay.
but also by environmental and social indicators.
Interesting.
And AI can play a crucial role in this.
Oh, how so?
By optimizing resource use, reducing waste, and promoting sustainable practices across industries,
I see.
it's about using technology to create a more balanced and sustainable future.
This actually ties into what Ambani said to students about AI, which I found really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
He said, and I quote, "Be good at using AI as a tool in learning, but do not give up your own critical thinking."
Right.
It's like he's anticipating the potential downsides of relying too much on AI.
He's definitely raising an important point there.
For sure.
AI, no matter how powerful it becomes, is a tool made by humans.
Right.
It reflects our biases, our limitations.
Yeah.
So while AI can be used for good, it can also perpetuate existing inequalities or even create new ones if we're not careful.
So he's warning against becoming overly reliant on it.
Exactly.
Like, we can't just outsource our thinking to algorithms.
That's the key. And that's where critical thinking comes in.
Okay.
We need to understand how AI works, what it can and can't do, and most importantly, where human judgment needs to take precedence.
Got it.
It's not about pitting human intelligence against AI,
Okay.
but finding ways to leverage AI to augment our abilities and make more informed decisions.
So collaboration, not competition.
That's the idea.
I like that. Okay, so we've talked about how AI can't just be a set it and forget it's solution.
Yeah,
We need to be really engaged in its development and deployment.
for sure.
Which brings me to another interesting thing Ambani mentioned.
Okay.
He seems incredibly optimistic about India's role in this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
He even predicts that India will be the most prosperous nation by the end of the century.
Wow.
That's a big statement.
It is, but it's not just blind optimism either.
What do you mean?
Well, he points to some key factors that could really propel India forward.
Okay, like what?
One of the most significant is India's demographics. A massive young population that's becoming more and more tech-savvy.
That's true.
That's a huge pool of talent that can drive innovation in both green energy and AI.
Right, and it's not just the people.
No, definitely not.
India also has a lot of untapped potential when it comes to resources.
Absolutely.
They're sitting on vast reserves of renewable energy sources, like solar and wind power.
Right. India could become a global leader in harnessing these renewable resources.
Interesting.
They've got the landmass, the climate conditions, and the growing manufacturing capabilities.
So they have everything they need to become a powerhouse in green energy production.
Potentially, yes.
It sounds like India has all the ingredients to be this green energy superpower.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Where specifically do you see them making the biggest impact?
Solar energy is a prime example.
Okay.
India has already made some good progress in solar panel manufacturing.
Yeah.
And with AI optimizing panel efficiency and deployment, they could really take it to the next level.
Right.
We might even see entirely new types of solar technologies coming out of India in the future.
That would be amazing.
And we can't forget about wind power.
Yeah, true.
India has a huge coastline and tons of open space, perfect for wind farms.
I can definitely see that.
And AI can be used to predict wind patterns and optimize turbine placement.
For maximum efficiency.
Exactly.
So it's not just about generating energy.
No, it's not.
It's also about managing and distributing it effectively.
That's where AI-powered smart grids come in.
Smart grids.
Yeah, they can dynamically adapt to those changing energy demands, integrate renewable sources seamlessly, and minimize waste, making the whole system more efficient.
So Ambani's vision isn't just about India becoming a leader in producing green energy.
Right.
It's about them building a whole ecosystem around it.
Exactly, creating a model for sustainable development that other countries can learn from.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've talked about green energy, but what about AI specifically? How does Ambani see India's role evolving in that domain?
Well, he really stresses the importance of AI education.
Okay.
And fostering a culture of ethical AI development.
Ethical AI? That's interesting.
He's calling for India to train a generation of thinkers and innovators.
Yeah.
Who can not only build sophisticated AI systems, but also guide their application in a way that benefits everyone.
So it sounds like he's pushing for India to become this global hub for AI research and development.
I think so, but with a strong emphasis on ethical considerations.
That's key.
It's not just about technological advancement.
Right.
It's about using that power responsibly.
And what does that mean in practice?
Addressing things like bias in algorithms,
Yeah.
ensuring data privacy, and preventing AI from being used for harmful purposes.
He even said that India has a big responsibility when it comes to shaping the future,
He did.
especially in these areas.
Yeah, it sounds like he's positioning India not just as a beneficiary of these advancements.
But as a steward,
Exactly, a leader in guiding them in a positive direction.
that's a powerful message.
It really is.
It goes beyond just economic prosperity. It's about India using its influence on the global stage to advocate for a more equitable and sustainable future for all of us.
I think that's the heart of his message.
So it's not just about India's own success.
No, it's not.
It's about them stepping up and helping to solve some of the world's most pressing challenges.
Yeah, that's the big picture.
This is getting pretty deep, and I think it's worth trying to imagine what this future might actually look like.
I agree. It's a fascinating thought experiment.
So let's try and actually picture this future Ambani's talking about.
Okay.
What would a world where India is leading in both green energy and ethical AI actually look like?
Well, I think we'd see a big shift in how energy is produced and used globally. Imagine, like, cities powered by these huge solar farms and wind installations,
Right.
all managed by, really sophisticated AI systems that optimize everything, making sure energy is distributed properly and minimizing waste.
Okay. Yep.
Electric vehicles would be everywhere.
Right.
And charging would just be seamlessly integrated into daily life.
It's not just the tech, though, is it?
No, definitely not.
It's about how these changes affect people's lives.
Absolutely.
So what kind of changes do you think we could see in India and beyond?
I think one of the biggest would be less air pollution,
Oh, yeah.
especially in those big Indian cities.
That makes sense.
That would have a huge impact on people's health,
For sure.
improving quality of life, lowering healthcare costs.
That's a big win right there.
Definitely.
And what about the economic side of things?
Well, we'd probably see a boom in green jobs,
Makes sense.
not just in manufacturing and energy production, but also in research development, data analytics, all that.
Oh, wow.
It could create a whole new wave of opportunity, especially for younger folks.
It's like this positive feedback loop.
Right.
India invests in green energy and AI,
Yeah,
creates more jobs and boosts the economy,
exactly.
which then leads to even more innovation and development.
It's a win-win.
I like it.
And, this success could inspire other countries to follow suit,
Yeah, that would be great.
really accelerate that global shift towards a more sustainable future.
But it's not going to be easy, is it?
Not at all.
There'll be challenges along the way, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
What are some of the big ones you see?
One of the biggest hurdles is ensuring that this transition is fair.
Fair.
Yeah, and that it benefits everyone, not just certain groups.
Okay.
We need to make sure those benefits of green energy and AI are shared widely,
I see.
not just concentrated among the wealthy or elite.
So bridging that digital divide,
Exactly.
making sure everyone has the skills and the opportunity to participate in this new economy.
That's crucial.
And this brings us back to what Ambani said about ethical AI.
Right.
How do we actually ensure that these powerful technologies are used for good
It starts with making ethical considerations a priority.
at every step?
From data collection and algorithm design to deployment and oversight,
Okay.
we need clear rules, strong regulations,
Right.
and a real culture of accountability within the tech industry.
So building in those safeguards from the very beginning,
Exactly, to prevent AI from being used in harmful ways.
like perpetuating bias, discrimination, or even violating human rights.
Exactly.
And this isn't just a tech challenge, is it?
No, it's a social and political challenge, too.
We need to have those open and honest conversations about the potential impact of AI
For sure.
and make sure it aligns with our values as a society.
Mm,
So what you're saying is that creating this future isn't just about technological innovation.
right.
It's about social transformation as well.
Absolutely. It's about rethinking what's important, challenging those old assumptions
And working together.
to create a future that's not only advanced, but also just equitable and sustainable.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into Ambani's vision.
It has.
We've covered a lot, from the potential of green energy and AI to the challenges and opportunities for India.
It's a complex topic, but definitely worth exploring.
As always, we want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay.
If this future Ambani is talking about actually happens, what role will you play?
Good question.
What choices will you make, individually and as part of society?
To make sure it's a future we can all be proud of.
Right, because the future isn't set in stone.
It's something we're actively creating through our actions and decisions.
So keep learning, keep questioning, and keep pushing for a better world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring.